Hi there, it's Finn again. In this video, as the title suggests, I will be creating an original character, focusing on how I came up with their concept, personality traits, their lore, a base design, and overall planning for a bigger narrative. I hope to execute. You are welcome to hang out and listen to me yap about my OC and their lore, or feel free to lock in and analyze how I write fictional lore and attempt concept character design with little to no professional academic art education. Well, other than what was being taught at the average day school. This is by no means a how to create an OC tutorial. Oh no. There are far better guides for that out there somewhere. This self-made production is coming from someone who always loved writing stories as a kid. Shout out to that little punk. I should also say that whatever ideas and artworks I share are to be consumed as is. I don't appreciate stealing ideas and crediting them as one's own, even more if the ideas are being used to feed non-human technological entities. If you don't understand what all that means, just watch the video and be entertained. Enough dilly-dally. Let's get going. So before anything, I started with a concept. Growing up, I was exposed to a lot of classical music. I learned to play a few instruments and eventually had the opportunity to join my school's orchestra club for a full 5 years. What I managed to observe throughout my musical life journey was that I felt each instrument not only had a different sound, but also had different personalities. I mean this from two perspectives. One, the performer's personality being tied to what instrument they played, and two, the instrument itself having a particular aura when being played. It was a very peculiar finding. I'll talk a little deeper about this in another video when my story concept is a bit more grounded. Anyways, I figured why not try personifying those instruments and see how they fare, focusing on the second perspective I brought up just now. Nothing too deep, just going off on curiosity. The first character that came to mind was the conductor themselves. In every orchestra, there is someone at the head who every performer never strays away their eyes from. The conductor orchestrates the timing of every beat and when each instrument comes into play to be able to execute a beautiful harmony. The conductor also often composes the music itself, translating written dots and lines into loudness and softness, intensity and emotion. On days when our conductor couldn't make it for practice or rehearsals, I found that our sounds created a jarring dissonance. Even if we played to the exact written sheet music and we had the drums to help with predicting the timing and beat, it all felt and sounded very uncanny. Hence why the conductor has one of the most important roles to fulfill. Going back to the character, I decided to revamp my old abandoned OC that I made on a whim in 2021 for this new concept. The OC's name was Seri, and she was a kind, quiet, married woman who was supposedly accused of being a witch. Yeah, that's it. I had no plan whatsoever for her. So, for the conductor, I decided to expand a bit on this character. I wanted this conductor character to be quiet but authoritative, mysterious and secretive, calm and level-headed, or rather, nobody's seen her crashing out at least, and able to command attention with her mere presence. As for her lore, or backstory, the main thing I borrowed from Seri's lore was that this conductor character is also supposedly married. But nobody in town has ever seen her husband, and she doesn't wear a wedding ring. Does she even have one? Also, she is the longest town resident, despite being a fairly young age, which probably means the small town is also fairly new. People also suspect her to be connected to some wealth. Yes, very suspicious. Alright, that's all I'm willing to share for now. let's get on with the tricky part, her base design. God. Essentially, to make things less complicated for me, I used simple shapes to determine her overall look. I decided that I wanted her to have a tall, thin figure, so I used a rectangle and an upside-down triangle. Another design choice borrowed from my Seri is that I reused her straight, long hair, but with her bangs curled to the side. And to emphasize her mysteriousness and overall secrecy, I gave this conductor character a long mask with small eye slits. I didn't realize it at the time, but I guess after drawing on the mask in Clip Studio Paint, I noticed that she kind of has some resemblance to the lady from Tarsier Studios' Little Nightmares, both in personality and the fact they wear masks to hide something. Interesting. If you noticed, her clothes resemble an actual formal conductor's attire. The cummerbund around her waist and the collared white blouse paired with a bow. I didn't give her a color palette yet because frankly this design is really a base rough idea and I went off on vibes. It might change, who knows. As of now, her design is based off of humanoid features, but I'm not sure yet if I want to make her actually human. I gave her a darker skin tone, but I might change her to be a walking shadow / void, kind of like a more human-shaped Kurogiri from Kohei Horikoshi's My Hero Academia. And if you take note of her eyes through the mask, her irises and pupils are white. Additionally, I'm not sure yet if I want to make everyone in this particular world human, or maybe make them different entities altogether. We'll see how it goes. Moving on, I managed to draft out a very rough plan for this whole fictional world with a few different possible main characters. I decided the setting would be in a quiet town, small in size and population, where everybody knew each other. It's a common setting, but I think the reason it is because it gives the author or creator more control and freedom to manipulate the narrative and introduce obstacles without having unnecessary noise, if done right, of course. The inspirations for this location is Storybrooke from ABC's Once Upon a Time series and Woodbrook from Patrick Horvath's Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees comics. Please, I beg of you, please read those comics. Oh my goodness, they are so good. As for the other main characters, they are all also based on how I perceive musical instruments. I haven't decided on their designs yet, but I'll take my time building each one. I plan to make it a short, mystery, supernatural type story so that people have space to experiment with my characters if they'd like after the main story is done. Also to give me more freedom in making different stories and characters. But for now, my focus is on this band of characters. Pun intended. I'm so excited! Prior to starting this OC creating business, I tried looking for videos to see how people created theirs, but for some reason they're really hard to find. If you know of any, could you leave a comment so I can check them out? I also heard of sites like Character Hub, Unveil, and lots of other places where people like to build their OCs, and I think I might use them to help me expand more on this world I'm creating. Would y'all like to see me make a video on that? I think those could be pretty fun. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, it would be great if you could like and subscribe to this channel. You can find me on Kara, Instagram, and if you want to support me further, I have a Ko-fi as well. Links are in the description box. I provide digital sketch commissions for as low as 5 USD. If you're interested, you can check out my main card link. Before I sign off, I'd like to thank everyone who watched my last video and decided to like, leave a comment, and actually subscribe to this channel. Like, welcome to the club, I guess. The comments some of y'all left under that video nearly brought me to tears because of how heartwarming they were. And I personally rarely tear up. It's nice to know quite a lot of you could relate. Those virtual hugs were well deserved. If you'd like me to talk about a specific topic, feel free to suggest anything down in the comments. You have anything to say, Megan? Alright. She ate already! Anyways, this has been Finn, and I'll see you next time.